the first question was, what all do you need to start an LLC? So all you need for the LLC is your name, you need your address, you need your business name. You don't really need a whole lot of stuff other than that. You go to the Secretary of State website of your website. If you live in Missouri, go on Google and look up SOS, which is Secretary of State. Go to online services, and at $50, you can have your LLC that same day. It's that instant. It's no need for everybody to not have an LLC and an EIN number, because the EIN number is free. And in Missouri, you get it the same day. In places like Georgia, Arizona, they make you wait about a week to get your LLC. So if you got any more questions about LLCs, drop it in the feed and I'll try to get to it. The next question that we got is, do you have to have good credit to start a business? So I would say it would definitely help if you have good credit, but it's not necessary to have good credit. But in my experience, having good credit is what saved my business, because I didn't have a whole business plan or anything planned out. I kind of was at the post office and I strictly just jumped off, quit my job, and was like, all right, I'm finna get into this truck. And I heard it make a lot of money. I'm finna get into it. But I didn't have a business plan. So I tanked all of the money that I had saved up. And if it wasn't for my credit, I would have been out of business years ago. So I would say definitely make sure you got a little credit card to fall back on. That's definitely going to be one of those things that you could lean on if you get into some financial trouble, because you are going to get into a little trouble in business, especially if you don't have a business plan and it's your first time doing something. So you're not going to be perfect at doing it. So the very next question I got, let's see, I got a lot of different questions here, good questions. Is it important to have more than one stream of income living in today's society? It's a must that you have more than one stream of income. It's a must you have more than one stream of income, and it could be anything from working your job and, trying to get you a little rental property, get a little rental income. It might only be $400 a month, but picture if you got a car note or anything else, it could take off a load from the money that you're making from your regular job. So you don't want to be trying to balance everything off one stream of income, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. What happened if that job fire you? You definitely want to, and that's what this whole thing is about, entrepreneurship. We don't want to be getting fired. We want to fire that 9 to 5 and do our own thing, because the only way you're going to be able to get the financial freedom is owning something where you're making money in your sleep. Let's see, next question. Do I need to have a certain amount of money in my bank to apply for a business loan? Now, for business credit and business loans, that's a huge thing. They do got revenue finance that you can use if it is income based, so you can borrow against your invoices that's coming in. Now, when I got my business credit, it wasn't based off of the money I had in the bank. It was based off of my business credit score, which it's only Wells Fargo and only one other bank does this secured credit card. So you get the secured credit card for $500. You get it. You keep swiping on it. You keep using it. They report to all the business credit bureaus like the Experian, but for business, they report to Dun & Bradstreet. You'll need to get a Dun & Bradstreet number 2 once you get your LLC, because building business credit is it's a little bit harder and it takes a little longer to build up, but you're talking about hundreds of thousands to $1 million you could be able to borrow, use, and flip to get where you're trying to go. Because I believe in using other people's money. I use some of my own money. I use my money and other people's money, because the more money you could put up, the more buying power you got. Usually the better deals you're going to get, because you can get everything for cheaper when you buy in bulk and you move it in value. So let's go to the next question. The next question is, how important is having credit? Okay, I kind of went over that one already. So we're gonna skip that one, and we're gonna go to what are some of the reasons why businesses fail in their first year in business. So That's a real good one. And I could tell you why, a couple of reasons why businesses fail in their first year of business. One is lack of planning. Lack of planning to have you out of business real quick. Because I didn't plan anything, and so I did not know my numbers. And what I mean by, like, numbers do lie if you're not looking at the right numbers. A lot of people looking at numbers like the gross numbers, like, yeah, I did, we did $1 million this year, we did 500,000 this year, but yeah, that's what you brought, that's what the company brought in, but what did you actually bring home? When you're looking at expenses, my first 2 years in business, I brought home 170,000. But after I got done chopping everything down, I was sitting at like 45. And I'm like, man, I might as well go back to work, because I was making 50, 45 at the post office. So I ain't quit my job to be working 16 hours a day just to make the same amount of money. But at the time, I didn't realize that I was gaining the experience that I need to get to where I'm at now, where I got time to make these videos, to give back, to teach, to do what I actually want to do. This is what I love to do, to just put people on game from my experiences. So I have had that feeling like them 2 years where I did not know my numbers though. And I was counting stuff completely wrong. So the most important thing is to know what it's going to cost for you to do that. If you got a product, you need to know, like, let's take a restaurant, for instance. If you want to start a restaurant, you need to know, in order to come up with your prices, what you're going to sell it for. You're going to need to know how much you spending on it. You get what I'm saying? Like, you really going to need to know that. That's going to be essential. You need to know if it's going to cost $3 to make this. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to sell this for 10. You don't want to be selling it for 5 and it costs $3 to make. You ain't going to really make no money for real. So knowing your numbers, to me, is knowing what your products is going to be key to your success in your first year. Because if you don't know that, you're gonna end up falling out. And then you need to make sure you do that profit and loss. Profit and loss, keeping up with the money, having an accountant or somebody who know what they're doing with numbers, not your little cousin them that think they know what they're doing. You're gonna have to watch them numbers, because I'm telling you, though, somebody be like, I'm giving you a $70,000 contract, or I'm giving you this, and really it makes sense for them that's giving it to you, but it don't make sense for you, for what you paying for. Like saying in the trucking business, I was taking routes for $210, not realizing it costs $100 in gas. My insurance costs $1,200 a month. So when I break that down to the day, that's $30. I'm making my money, but I'm basically breaking even. But since I had such good credit, it felt like I was making money because I wasn't really watching it. But once I started watching, break it down, look at their profit and loss, I'm like, hold up. Somebody should have told me about profit and loss when I first got in. I ain't get to my profit and loss to a year and a half after in my business. I was $30,000 in debt by then. But as soon as I got into it, I realized that I'm like, hold on, okay. Now we could turn this thing around. So the last 6 months of my second year, we turned it all the way around. We was negative, I don't know how much. At that time, we probably negative 50,000 maybe in the business for real, So but once we started to watch the numbers, I started being like, nope, can't take that route, can't take that, because that don't make sense. So you got to make sure you make it make sense in the beginning. Always make sure you know what it is ahead of time. You don't want to be getting caught up on the back end after you just spent all your money. Like, damn, where all my money go? No, you every week, profit and loss. What was brought in, what was taken out. If you want, they got templates of that. If you want to know, they got templates inside of Google. I want to say Google Sheets. Google Sheets will give you a profit and loss, the whole setup. All you got to do is plug your numbers in, and Google Sheets will show you what you really making. And then sometimes it make you want to throw up. You look at them numbers like, man, them numbers is whack. Them numbers is super whack. So you want to make sure that you definitely know your numbers. Another super mistake that people make before you even go get your LLC, do some research on your business. Like, really, like, do research on the business, because a lot of the businesses, once you dig into the licenses and everything is going to cost to actually do the business, you might not even want to do the business no more. So make sure you ain't hearing about a conversation like, oh, I want to do trucking because I heard it make a lot of money, or I want to do a restaurant because I heard it make it make a lot of money. Make sure that it's something that you actually want to do. I'm not saying you got to have a passion about it, but Passion would be good because it'll help you when you feel on them days you feel like quitting, but you ain't really got to have no passion. You just got to understand the business that you're trying to get into. So like if you want to get into trucking, my formula is this. A lot of people ask me about how to get in trucking. So that's why I'm gonna bring up trucking a whole lot, of course, because it's the thing that I was the most successful with, and I can give the best examples on that because I got proof. So let's say if a truck gonna cost, the truck costs, let's say you get a $20,000 truck. All right. So if you're gonna pay a note on that, you're gonna be like, all right, it's gonna cost $500 a month, or it's $500 a month to do this. Gonna cost this for insurance. Okay. I don't know. So the first thing you want to lock down is the work, because once you lock the work down, and that kind of goes with anything, you want to know who your clientele base is gonna be first. Because how you gonna start a business selling a service or a product if you don't even know who you're gonna be selling to? So I see a lot of people out here, man. They come to me, hey, bro, can you help me? I see you got all these Amazon routes. How you gonna go get a truck and you ain't even got no work for the truck? That don't even make sense. But nobody teaches this. So that's why I'm trying to put everybody on game, and I'm welcoming these questions because like we really lost out here. I was super lost. I got to the box truck, and it was big as hell. I had never even drove a box truck before. So I had already quit my job. Don't do stupid shit like that. It still worked out, but it was dumb though. It was dumb to do because I really didn't plan. I just knew that I didn't want a job no more. I knew that I didn't want to work for nobody. I knew that as long as I ain't working for nobody, I'm gonna feel like I'm winning. So losing as an owner don't feel the same. You know what I'm saying? It feel good because I'm like, if I keep getting up, eventually something gonna change, So just make sure you know who your customer is. Make sure you know who your customer is, period, because everybody is not your clientele. That's another thing. I see people out here selling clothes and all of this. Realize everybody is not your clientele. Everybody is not for you. Don't try to sell to everybody. Your price is your price. Everybody trying to get a discount, cool. They ain't trying to go up in Walmart trying to ask them what they getting the TVs for. Don't come ask me when I'm getting, don't let them come and ask you who your connect is, who your is. If you have spent your time getting that, hey, they need to pay for a consultation or something, especially if you ain't all the way up off the ground, all the way got yourself together. Now, you don't mind helping nobody once you get it, but, you don't want to essentially create your own competition while you trying to get up, somebody trying to snake you, so you got to watch out for that too, because it is business. Like, yeah, we could do stuff together, but in business, people be snaky and people be trying to just strictly get the money. They call it team, where they really just trying to get the money. So keep that in mind, that, that's going to be one of the key things is knowing who your customer is, knowing what your products are going to cost. Make sure you know all of that stuff ahead of time. Do anybody got any other questions that they want to ask me? I'm gonna go into a couple of topics that I got on paper. All right. So another thing that I got asked is, okay, I got my LLC. Now what? Okay, so now you legal. You got your LLC. After the LLC, you go get the EIN number, go get you a DUNS number if you're trying to work on your credit. Now, the next thing you're going to do is, depending on what type of business you is, like I said, it's going to go back to the other things that you should have done before you got the LLC. Because it's really like, if you stuck at the LLC portion, you just got a name. You got a business, but the business ain't no business for real unless it's making money. So you just got to zero it out, LLC for real. So another question I had was, what do I do if I got too many ideas and I don't know which idea to use? Okay, again, I'm gonna go back to me, I like trucking because it reminds me of, it's like a hustle, so I get a thrill out of it, and I understand how it works, so somebody could bring me another business and I'll be like, I don't know about that. I don't really understand how that works, like the Forex trading and all of that stock stuff. That stuff ain't really stuff that I understand. So I stay away from what I don't understand. I stick to trucking. I stick to doing Airbnbs. I stick to like real estate just in general, just buying properties, flipping them, renting them out. I stick to what I know. Or either I invest in companies with people that I feel like is experts, like my boy Yaki. He's an expert on healing. You know, go to Yaki Awaken if you want to get healed. He's an expert at what he do. So it makes sense for me to be like, all right, brother, let's team up together and let's get this. I understand strategy. That's my point. And also, like when it's me talking about strategy, another thing, know your strengths and your weaknesses and what you're not good at. And you need to like everybody, you ain't gonna be good at everything. You are not gonna be good at everything. So make sure that you know what you're good at and you go find the help from the people that's good at what you're not good at. Now you start to create partnerships. Like me and Yaki, we both balance each other out perfectly, you know. So in any partnership, it want to be like, okay, I'm not good at this, but you great at this. Let's put this together. Let's make magic happen. Because, like I said, with me, strategy, going to go get it, going to go make it happen is everything for me. But when it comes to day-to-day management, that ain't me. I suck at day-to-day management. But that's why me and my wife, my business was failing when I was doing it by myself. I had to bring in the right partner in order to help me get it to the next level. Like I was hustling, I was grinding, I'm sleeping in the truck. I had what it take to come up, but hard work alone will not make you successful. Write that down. Like everybody thinking they working like 16 hours a day, 20 hours a day. Hard work alone will not get it done for you. It won't. You got to be smart about it. You got to think like, look, I cannot do this alone. And that's why so many people can't get up out that bottom spot because they too greedy. Just think about it. 100% of zero is zero. So yeah, you get your whole 100%, but you ain't making no money. See, me, I'd rather make 10% of 10 million instead of 100% of 100,000. You know what I'm saying? See, people can't even date the mentality you got. Like, no, I'm trying to team up with 10 people. I get my 10% 10 ways. That's less responsibility for me. And I'm still making $1 million while this one person is being greedy, trying to do it all on their own. It's making 100,000. I'm working way smarter, making 10 times. Because that's what it means when they say it take money to make money. Because you got to help other people get on. If you ain't helping nobody else get on, you ain't gonna really get rich. I'm doing this because somebody walked up in the post office and gave me the game to be able to create 6 figures. Then in a third year in business, my company was able to earn over 2 million. Somebody came and literally walked me through it, you know, then walk me through the whole process, but getting me started. You know, and that's what I'm trying to do. Once you get out of first gear, man, it's gonna be gravy. It's just like driving a stick shift. I don't know how many of y'all do, but the hardest thing is to get that clutch and that timing right, you know, and to get up out of there. It's gonna happen, but the overnight gonna happen so quick. It ain't gonna be like overnight to you because it could be 3 years. But when you go from that 0 to 60, it's gonna happen real quick. And that's why you got to have your plan ahead of time, because believe in it. It's gonna happen. It's nothing you can keep doing, and it's just not gonna happen. That ain't how the universe work, God work. However you identify with the Most High or the higher power, it cannot fail. It cannot fail if you put in you want. So sometimes you're gonna have to. The key thing you're gonna have to do is give us some sacrifices. Like you can't watch no TV. I could have been watching some reruns of Power or anything right now, but I'm trying to give this to y'all. So I need business partners, to be honest. Like straight up, I'm trying to have like 30 streams of income. I need to team up with some of y'all. So like really, like I'm talking like we need to put some money together. We need to really team up and get it going, because together we're gonna be able to achieve more. If it's 10 buildings, it's a building I'm trying to get right now that costs 1.5 million. I need some partners to go in that building so we can get this money together. I could go get it myself. It's gonna take me longer, and I'm gonna have more responsibility. Me, I'm trying to spend time with the kids. So to get financially free, I'm gonna have to release myself of all of their responsibility. Don't get caught up in the entrepreneur thing. You working 16 hours a day just to make $100,000 a year. You're making 6 figures, but you ain't never got no time to do what you need to do. I run everything on systems. I got lock boxes on my truck, just so when the mechanic come to my truck, he ain't got to call me. If he do, he just calling me for the lockbox code. Boom. Come and get the key. Boom. I'm trying to figure out any way that I ain't got to go meet somebody or ain't got to do nothing that I don't want to do and make my business run efficiently. So when I bring a manager in and I hire somebody, They need to be able to come straight to my business. They need to come in and straight be able to function. They need to be able to function. Your business is not a business unless it can run without you. You literally need to be able to go to Cancun and come back for a whole week, no contact with your business, and you still making money. Not to say that a couple of things might not be a little bit off, but you should still be able to make profit while you gone. And that should be the key in any business and any hustle, period. It's to make, like me, I'm hustling for retirement right now. So I'm trying to have 10 businesses. So when I turn 40, I'm not going to retire because I just like to hustle. But I want to be eligible for retirement. In order to do that, I got to create systems. I got to create partnerships, and I can't try to make 100%. I got to put some people in the game. I got to put some people on. I got to get me some college grads that if they don't want to be an entrepreneur, I need them college grads to come and work with me. I need them brains because I only know what I know. No matter how many books I read, I'm still going to be good at what I'm good at. The same go for everybody else. You got to put that team together. You got to be as an entrepreneur, you got to get out of that worker bee mentality, that work all day. You got to become a coach. You got to be able to start to apply the vision. Like, okay, I got in trucking with box truck because I felt like I could do it. When it got time to 18 wheelers, like I told y'all before, it got a little scary for me. I'm like, man, I can't drive this truck. But like I said, what do driving that truck, me being able to do it, got anything to do with me actually doing it and making money off of it? You see what I'm saying? So don't get caught up in what you can't do because somebody can do it and somebody be willing. Somebody out there just want to drive. And they might not want to drive forever, but if they at that certain point in time in their life, then go ahead and team up with them, because you ain't ever really working for nobody, because ain't nobody putting no gun in your head. If you decide that you don't want to get up and go to work to get no money, then you're just gonna be broke. It's a decision. So all of the time you working for yourself. So at your job, make sure that you giving your best, because you don't know who looking. You don't know who is who. It could be a co-worker that's in there that's working a job and got 10 buildings of real estate. Some people just want to be there for the benefits. So I'm not saying by any means you got to leave your job right away or you should jump off and go do something crazy like I did. But I had money saved up and I had credit. So I don't regret it at all. I wouldn't change it for the world. But I'm not saying you got to do that. Just know I was working at the post office making $1,000 to $1,200 a week before I started this. And I transitioned straight from work. A dude was delivering Amazon freight to the post office I was at in Kennesaw, Georgia. Delivering there. In the last 4 years, I done made over $2 million delivering to my job, to the post office. Not necessarily that same place, but to that. I found my blessing right where I was at. I ain't go jump out. I found it right where I was at. I started I'm like, you know what? It's people standing next to me making $30 an hour. I'm making $17, $18 an hour. And I'm like, man, these people, man, I'm outworking them. I'm doing all of this. I'm like, hold on. Why am I finna tripping off what they doing? Because you slowing down, being lazy, trying to do less work. You only messing up your own psychology. You doing this for you. You ain't coming to work for them. You got to do your best, because that's a habit. If you start slacking gonna become a habit. You're gonna slack on your diet, you're gonna slack on your working out, you're gonna slack on your parents, and you're gonna slack. So you gotta erase that mentality and start being like, I'm gonna give the best in every area. Because then you're gonna start to retrain your way of thought. I start going to work, boom. I'm like, man, I'm throwing all these packs, I'm running circles around these folks, because the energy, you're gonna be rewarded for what you do, regardless. Like I said, if it's universe or the God, you're gonna get rewarded for what you're doing. So if you slacking off, how you gonna get any ideas downloaded in your brain when you ain't even doing your best? You ain't even at your full potential with where you at. You first gotta get in your full bag where you at. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just think about what I'm saying. How are you gonna bloom and you ain't fulfilled your current space? You have to fill up that space in order to grow. You know, it's what the caterpillar to the butterfly. It has to grow fully to evolve. You got to do that. You got to do that to evolve. So just keep in mind all of that. I got to get back to my other work. If y'all don't have any more questions, I'm gonna get up out of here until next week. Make sure y'all send me some questions. I'm gonna give y'all a second to send me some questions in, but definitely send me more questions to the inbox. Let me know what topics y'all want to talk about. In particular, next week I might go strictly in on how to start a trucking company. I think that'll be a good one, especially for my folks out there in St. Louis. I want to show y'all y'all got some good rates out there. The only reason I ain't tried to move out there is because it's hard to start a company out there is because it get real cold out there, and I need to find a trucking spot that I can find to park the trucks. So and when it get real cold, you got to plug the engine block up. So I'm trying to figure that part out, figure out some parking, and figure out some drivers out that way, or some owner operators, some people that's trying to start their own business or whatnot. But it's plenty of work out there. I can show you how to get on with Amazon, and I can even help you get your first 2 weeks of work. Like it's really a lot of work out there. It's really wide open out there when it comes to the trucking in St. Louis. So I'm looking at my feed. I don't really see any questions in the feed. Hold on. What question you got in there? What question? Let me see what question we got in the feed. Good question from my boy. He said, when do you know it's time to scale? You know it's time to scale when you completely, and I don't know if everybody know what scaling means. To scale your business is to basically grow it. It's basically to grow it, to take it from where it's at to the next level. So when it's time to scale when you completely understand your business and you have got to that spot where like say I had got to like 2 trucks and I'm like, okay, I've mastered this. I'm very comfortable with this. Now it's time for me to go ahead and go to the next step. So if you in your business and you selling, make sure that you getting the clientele or the business is overflowing first. Don't try to scale. Like I made the mistake of going to go buy a van without having van work. I was trying to scale the business too fast. That van set up for 3 years. I never found no work for it, just sold it. Don't do that. Make sure that you got more than what you can handle. Then it's time. Okay, now I got to hire somebody. Don't be tripping off taking that pay cut, hiring somebody, because you got to think about the long vision of it. The big picture of you hiring that person is like, okay, if I'm gonna pay somebody $500 a week, okay, how much is that labor going to make me is what you got to think when you're trying to scale. Okay, if this $500 can make me $1,000, I'm gonna hire somebody, because that means they're gonna help me make an additional $500 a week. Who ain't finna do that? That's when it's time to scale. You have to scale at that point. Or you don't, you can stay small if you want to, but if you're really trying to get to it, you really want something that's going to grow and be everlasting that you could pass to your kids, it's either going to be growing or you either going to be slowing down and probably fall off. So you definitely want to keep pushing it forward. Let's see if I got any more questions. Anybody else got some questions? Anybody else? All right, y'all, I'm looking at the feed. I don't see anybody else with any questions. Make sure y'all hit the inbox. We'll be back here. I'll be back here every week with y'all. Ask me the tough questions. I need tough questions because we gonna get this. I just ain't got time to answer every single inbox, but come on A.Live, and I'm gonna try to answer as much questions as I can within the hour before I got to get back to edit them other videos and stuff like that. But all right, y'all, thanks for coming to watch. Let me know what y'all learned. Shoot me. Make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube, my Facebook, share my videos. I'm really facing a real big fear. People don't even know my palms hella sweaty right now, but I feel like I came through and did it. I appreciate y'all. Them inboxes is everything to me. Like them inboxes, people texting, people telling me that they've been motivated, that they learning. I want to keep it going. Y'all keep motivating me, because that's what's making me keep on pushing and being able to do this and taking my time out to do it. I love y'all. let's come up together, let's level up together, and we're gonna get to this money, but we're gonna get that peaceful bag. We ain't trying to get that drama bag. Peace.